Give us a sense of how different the team might look than on Friday with this short turnaround.
There may be a couple of changes, a couple of possibilities. Not to envisaging too many. We've got a couple of niggles, and we'll give everybody as long as we can before Friday's game. But yeah, there'll be one or two changes, I think.
You said after the game on Sunday that in time this team will pick itself, and at the moment, though, sadly, it's not. Just give us an insight into how challenging it is to select this side week to week at the moment.
Yeah, look, I just think in pre-season, you don't lose many games, or you don't lose many points, or pick many points up, but people can put the best foot forward within pre-season, and that's all you can ask of your players. And we had a lot of the squad do that, so there was plenty of dilemmas for round one selection. And obviously when you don't aim up that round one, then fellas that just missed out, was rightly due an opportunity. So it's up to the individual, I suppose, who is in contention, to keep hold of that as long as they can.
The continuity that you have had is in the spine, though, isn't it? And how encouraged are you from what you've seen from that so far?
Yeah, really good. I think Niall at the back has been challenged massively these last couple of weeks aerially, and copped a fair few whacks for it as well. I've got no doubt Friday will be no different either. So I've been really impressed with how he's gone about his business, and I think Gaz and Milky have been fantastic for us these first two rounds, and that's a real plus for the team and for the club as well.
And the switch in mentality as well was crucial. What else have you seen in training this week that encourages you ahead of Wigan?
Yeah, I think obviously 2 losses from 2 games is not ideal. I think what we want to see is obviously as much effort as we can possibly get in getting 2 points and getting our season off the ground. We're obviously playing a fantastic side who have notoriously challenged right at the top end of the competition. So yeah, we've got to be at it this Friday to get some out of the game.
You mentioned whacks a few moments ago. Were you surprised there was no further action for the Wellesby tackle from the weekend?
No. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of not charging people.
So there's the fines for the lesser charge, isn't there? Is that something that you've sort of championed, really?
Yeah, look, I've been an advocate for that. I think if you look at, I understand one of the years was COVID years, but if you look at the game over the last couple of seasons, they've been in the deep depths of squad numbers towards the back end of the year, and if keeping blokes on the field through suspension keeps those numbers a little bit lower, then that's got to be good for the game.
I saw quite a few people on social media saying if Liam Watts had affected that tackle, he'd be out for 6 weeks. You sort of see where they're coming from.
That's it. I'm not on social media, JD.
You say you're not anyway.
For that reason.
So when you look at Wigan, obviously you'll look at that last performance, which was a big victory over Wakefield. What are they doing well at the moment from what you've seen?
I think the backfield's a threat. In Bevan French and Jack Field, you've got some out and out speed, and Marshall's busy for him. A very effective player, and has made a career of his game being on effort. So the backfield's a challenge for us. We've got to make sure our last players are good. And notoriously, they've challenged us on last players as well over the last, my time here. I think they scored twice at their place, running the ball on last play, and scored 3 times doing the same thing here. So our energy on last play is important.
Do you get a sense that should you get that first win, whether it comes this week or next week or whenever, that more will follow?
No, I've seen enough with the ball to look, it's not panic or disappointment definitely in the losses, but I've seen enough with the football to know we'll challenge plenty of sides this year. I think our growth is getting in the arm wrestle and staying in there, and also defensively just showing a little bit more steel when things go against you.
Just lastly from me, Rad, is obviously if selected, Paul McShane will make his 200th CAS appearance. Just give us an idea as to how much of a pain in the backside he was when you were coaching against him and what you've seen from him as head coach.
Yeah, no, I actually played with Mackie. I played with him at Hull. He came to Hull for a month on loan, so I've known him for a while. Yeah, he's a threat. We want him to be a threat out of dummy half. We want him to challenge the opposition out of dummy half. I think one area is very, very tidy and he's a good kicking nine. Whether that be long for a 40-20 or whether that be on try line, I think you go through his highlights package. There's plenty of try score with him threading the ball through. So he challenges you in that way. We want him to be as energetic and tenacious as he can come Friday night.
And just lastly, he was talking in pre-season about losing some kgs as well. Have you seen the benefits of that from the last two games?
I think he's in good shape. I think physically, for his age, he's in good shape. And he's got the ability to play big minutes as well for a nine, which helps sometimes your interchanges, definitely. So, yeah, we expect him to have a big one on Friday and, what is a massive game for him.
You said you had a couple of niggles right at the start. Who's struggling? Who's been battling something this week?
Oh, I'll keep that to myself, if some of them pull through and they're not quite right, then we'll keep the target off their backs, I think.
Fair enough. You tweaked with a 3/4 line a little bit in the opening 2 rounds. Greg Eden's had to sort of wait patiently. I mean, is he close? Is he close to getting?
Yeah, no, he's closer than he was, definitely. Yeah, we've had a couple of weeks out of him back with the squad now, so he's fit, firing, ready to go, and I'm sure we'll see him soon.
I know you've got a deep squad, you've got a fit squad as well. You've got a reserve game this weekend, haven't you, against Wigan? How valuable will that be just to keep everyone ticking over and keep people fit and fresh?
Yeah, massive. We have, a kid like Sam Hall, for example, who missed out on the pre-season friendlies because he carried a suspension over from last year. To get his season up and running is an absolute must for us. And, there's plenty of players like that within our squad as well that need some minutes. So Wigan, notoriously, their reserves grade has been very, very strong. And, we'll be fielding a strong one as well that weekend.
Willie Peters was saying yesterday, I think, that he just really wants to see some effort and some focus put into reserve grade. I mean, how important is it as a coach to have that opportunity to put your sort of squad players into regular game time against Super League players?
Yeah, look, I deal well that I never got rid of it many, many moons ago. I think now what's happened with the dual reg and a lot of blokes going back to amateur, the what's the word? The detriment of is obviously sending blokes out on dual reg and on loan instead of playing reserves. But sometimes when you have a look at the scorelines of the reserve games, the standard's probably not where we all want it to be. And then also, if you're bringing kids in from amateur, there's a knock-on effect to the amateur game as well. So you get a bit of kickback from the amateur clubs as well. Ideally, we'd want it thriving and as many kids playing as we possibly can. Unfortunately, again, it usually goes. Resources is usually the reason for it not being as strong as it can be.
Just Jake Mamo, he came off with a back injury the other day. How's he getting on with that?
Yeah, struggling a little bit. So yeah, he's one who's I've just given me secrets away there, and he's one who be touch and go for weekend.
What kind of issue is it? Is it something he's been carrying, something that flares up?
No, just a back spasm during the game. So he was actually struggling with his knee earlier on in the week. Came for a fly-in with that, but unfortunately his back took a bit of a twist.
Is it one of those things that just flares up and he'll get a spasm down his back kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah. I think he's walking around like Terminator at the minute. He can't quite twist his. That's to twist his full body instead of his torso. So yeah, we'll see how he goes.
And just in terms of medical team, have they said it's something that can just clear up like that and it'll be good?
I think with it, it's see how it settles down. Sleep and recovery is obviously big for it, and see how it goes from there.
And Greg Eden, just the way you were talking, did he have a setback before the start of the season that's put him behind a little bit?
He did, yeah. So Greg, he did vice versa to last pre-season. So last pre-season, we didn't see him till well after January. Well after December, second, third week in January. He actually joined back in pre-season with us in full. Whereas this time round, he's done it vice versa. He was with us right up until Christmas, and then we lost him for a month. So through the same injury, the same niggling injury. But like I said, he's back firing now and hopefully good to go.
Not his hamstrings, is it?
No, calf, neural pain in his calf. So, like I say, hopefully we've seen the last of it.
Will the senior guys who missed out last week, will they come back in this week?
Yeah, they'll definitely be in contention. So we've not finalised the 18 as yet. We'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, they're definitely in contention to play.
He obviously sent a couple of guys out on Joe Reg. Matagi were the only one who played for Halifax. Were you pleased with his reaction? Yeah, it was a tough game for him to be involved in. I think he went on there and defended for 30 minutes. So, Suey is very much a ball carrying front row who needs the football to see the best of him. Unfortunately, the game probably didn't pan out like that for him. Yeah, but it's good for him to get plenty of defensive work.
We need some minutes into these blocks early on in the season, and they need to be ready to go at the drop of an hat, and hopefully he benefited from that. And
Mahi Fanui was named in the original squad, didn't play. What was the reason behind that?
Yeah, no, I trained with him Saturday. What day was it? Trained with him Thursday, and was due to train with him Saturday. To play for them on the Monday, but obviously with Jake Mamo being a bit of a doubt, we had to carry a backers 18th from 19th just in case he didn't pull through team run.
Yeah, just on the halves from the weekend, I think between them the 51 carries according to the stats. Was that part of the plan, or are the stats wrong, or is it just the way?
I think the stats will be wrong on that. I think you get a carry for when you go into the line and pass on op test. So yeah, I think that's. I think it's.
I've never noticed them that high before though, so I was just wondering. I didn't know if Saints were shutting them down quickly or what.
No, I think. Look, I was as I said, I was really impressed with. I've been really impressed with both halves since, in both games. I think they've added plenty to what we're doing, and hopefully that combination can continue to build with Maka and Westy when he gets back in there. Niall at the back, that chemistry is going to be really valuable for us.
And Elliot Wallace has got a 5-match ban out on Joe Reg. Is that a disappointment for you?
Yeah, really disappointed because he was phenomenal in that game and probably looked, a level above. So for him to sit down for 5 weeks is a disappointment, definitely.
Was it a fair call by the tribunal based on the footage?
Have you seen it? Have you seen the footage?
No, is it one of them handbags? Is it?
I'll let you make your decision.
Just jumping on what JD was talking about. Obviously, you said that you backed the Wellesby decision. Obviously, Elliot Wallace has received his ban, but it would be nice in a way for you that was someone that was asked every week about disciplinary and your bans, that you hopefully won't have that this season with the new process. Obviously, that's something you are going to back, and the game needs its superstars on the pitch, whereas Wellesby might be a controversial one for some, but we need these superstars on the pitch, don't we? And not sitting out for 4, 5, 6 weeks.
100%. Yeah, this sounds really bad what I'm going to say, but there aren't enough superstars in our game to have them, to afford them in the stand. We want maximum return on what we're paying people as a sport and as a club. And like I said last year, I just particularly that look, I don't want to harp on about that first 6 weeks again last season, where the game went, crazy for 6 weeks, but I think it makes much more sense, and honestly, I think you'll change players' behaviours because it's them in the wallet. We're a tight breed of people, rugby league people, and I think you'll see a knock-on effect of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, interest, it does directly come from the player's wallet, does it? So in the back of their heads, they don't want to do anything because 250 quid is a lot of money for anyone, really. Yeah,
4 or 5 times a year. It's it all adds up.
What are you looking to build on, from the last 2 weeks going into the Wigan game, do you think?
I think from Sunday's performance, I think the ability to stay in an arm wrestle longer, that set for set period during a game where, you're looking for one team to break. I think, development for us is to be able to stay in that for longer and come out the other end of that I just felt so many times that weekend we started our sets coming off our own try line and made some breaks and some space. And instead of being content with taking the tackle and kicking tough on the back of that, we chanced our arm. And when you look back on it, the amount of times we over-chanced our arm really, really hurt us. And that takes energy out of you in the long run. So it doesn't allow you to get in the arm wrestle moving forward. So that's a development for us. But, you know, there's no excuse for a senior squad, and everybody knows, you know, you need your fair share of possession and fair share of field position to win games of rugby. And again, as a collective, it's just an area we need to get better at.
Is it a case of trying to keep your composure, you know, when you've made those breaks? Definitely,
yeah. Or pick the right pass, or execute it with the right skill, whatever the outcome of that is. Like I said, sometimes when you start coming off your own try line, getting into the opposition's 40 by play 4 is a real result. Be happy with that and to be able to kick on the end of that.